You are listening to an entertainment program put together by a company called Financial Ineptitude. Anything said on this show is not an endorsement or professional advice. Would you really want to tell a court of law you were suing us because you thought taking financial advice from two idiots on a podcast put out by Financial Ineptitude was a good idea? Really? Clown hat smiley face.
Hello and welcome to the China Shop today, folks. Come on in. I'm Shopkeeper Dan, and with me as always is Kyle, creator of financialineptitude.com. How you doing today, Kyle?
I feel like I got reamed this week.
Ooh.
I'm not doing great.
Yeah.
I had to actually step away for a little bit.
Yeah, we were talking about some market tumults that never occurred.
Yeah. We'll cover that in the bet. It starts with the bet and it just goes downhill from there.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm doing okay myself. I've been keeping extra busy, pulling my hair out of my head because my money hadn't cleared from moving out of Robinhood and moving into Ameritrade, so I couldn't trade my options, and I was eyeing them all week, and I had a sick-to-my-stomach moment, we'll get to in the news, with marijuana stocks. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you missed a nice rebound.
Anyway, come on into the shop with us today, folks. Sit back, relax, rage against the hedge machine, hedge against the rage machine. Just do it all with us. We're having a fun time.
Just smash something.
Just smash something while you're here. Let us know you've been by to the shop with some smashed china. Welcome to any new listeners just joining us. We're here sharing our ever-growing strategies for trying to maximize gains, cut those losses. Got a very, very fermented, intoxicating show for you today. Lots of market-moving news, plenty of stocks on the radar, and more options than Zeus in a zoo.
What? You trying to top the nerdy reference?
Yeah, right. Is that? I did a Greek reference last week, didn't I? All right.
Did you? Oh yeah, you did. Agamemnon.
At the beach, yeah. Amy Winehouse at an open bar.
Ooh,
Too soon?
Too soon.
Too soon?
Too soon.
And please, folks, reach out to us. We love your messages and comments. We love them on the Twitter, on Facebook, TikTok, Discord, wherever you're at. Maybe you're old school and you want to just send us an email. We got that too, 2bulls@financialineptitude.com. Or maybe you want to give us a phone call, 725-22-BULLS. Maybe you got a hot stock tip. Maybe you want to tell us about a great trade you just made. Or maybe you just stubbed your toe and you can't stop screaming about it. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We love it when you reach out. Oh, well, Kyle, that brings us to the top of the show where we talk about the bet results.
Can we just skip it this week?
You wanted to skip it last week.
Can we just...
And I'm noticing a trend.
I want to fast forward to the end of March and just see how I did then. Because I feel like this month is already lost for me. I feel like also, by the way, because you made out like a bandit on a technicality, so I feel like you owe me a side bet at some point this month. Well, I went with the VIX, the VXX. It opened at $20.09 and ended the week at $16.47.
Oh!
Stop loss triggered 15% at $18.10. So my $500 is now worth $450.47. So not great. But on the plus side, like I said with the VIX, I did open up a position on that myself with my personal cash, and I'll just be holding that until the market corrects, which it will at some point. So I'm not worried about losing money in the long term. I just thought we'd see more volatility this last week, and it never really materialized.
No.
And because of that, I'm going to have to do something stupid next month, I'm assuming already.
Yeah, I know it's a bummer for you to lose the bet, but if I win the bet, that puts pressure on me to have to think of another dumb thing to make you do.
Right. What really puts pressure on you is how to fuck up your bet again to where you somehow make money on it.
Yes, listeners, I was attempting to pick SQQQ, and I said TQQQ. I've got, a lot of stuff going on, and I just wrote it down wrong. I forgot that TQQQ was the bull, SQQQ was the bear. I was going for the bear because I too predicted volatility, but that was not my pick. My pick was the triple leveraged NASDAQ bull fund.
To be fair, you did reach out to me and asked how to handle that, and my response was that if you fat finger a trade and buy the wrong thing, what happens? You're stuck with what you said.
Yeah, I have fat fingered many real life trades before, as Kyle can attest to.
I think we all have.
Yeah. May I bring you back to my Cisco options fiasco of 2 weeks ago? Anyway.
Right.
So I did luck out because it was like a record week for the NASDAQ. It took a dive that Friday when we talked about the bet the Friday before. So Monday it just shot right back up. It opened the week at $93.55 and it closed the week at $105.30. That's around a 12.5% gain. Brings my 500 up to $562.80. Saved by the fat fingers. Not bad at all for a week. Come on.
Not bad. But we also have a random stock that we're both competing against.
Oh,
and
shit.
Man, this is about to get ugly.
Oh, shit. For the first time, the random went on a tear.
Oh, my God, yeah. The AKTS opened at $15.93 on Monday, closed at $18.58. So the $500 for the random is now at $583.18, and we are both behind for the first time to the random. That means that we need listener suggestions for our consequences if we fail to beat random.
Yeah, I might not be thinking of any consequences. If we both lose to random, yeah, we need some listener consequences for that.
We're on hard mode difficulty with the stock market this week.
Yes.
Our month.
Yeah, we used those cheat codes for too long on that GME, Bed Bath & Beyond, AMC madness, and now the difficulty's gone cranked up even higher than it was before the cheat codes. All right, folks, stick around to the end. We'll have another fun bet going on. I know I've got a fun pick that I believe in, and we'll see what Kyle has, and we'll find out the new random, and I'm hoping it's something that tanks, so it hits that stop loss.
Yeah, hopefully it's the VIX.
That would be epic. All right, so I think that brings us up to some news.
Well, it's all for the money. Tune to the show. Need a good story so my margin grows. Or won't you listen to all our news? You might learn some things with the China Shop Market News.
All right, so I think obviously the biggest story going on the planet right now is still GameStop, and I got fired up this week a little bit. Obviously, I'm still emotionally wrapped up in this whole ordeal. I still have shares. I'm still pissed at Robinhood. I moved all my money out, moving it over to Ameritrade. Drove me crazy because I couldn't trade options all week until my cash cleared.
You're not the only one who left Robinhood, too. There was a mass exodus, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And they did finally allow unrestricted buying on Friday, and we saw really what the power of retail has when they pushed that stock up to 95 again.
Yeah, it kept getting circuit breakered on Friday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at one point, Robinhood even sent me an email offering me 5% cash on new deposits up to $150. So they're trying to get people back.
To be fair, that's probably more than you'll get from a settlement from that class action lawsuit. Mark Cuban did an Ask Me Anything on Reddit over last week. Yeah. And that question was brought up if they had a lawsuit, if it stood any chance of winning against Robinhood. And his response was, oh, yes, and you'll win, and you'll all get your $4 settlement checks when it's done.
I didn't join the lawsuit for the money.
I lost real money.
Yeah.
I put mostly just my gains from the year on it, as I figured it was one hell of a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
But the other side of it, too, was that I actually believe in GameStop as a company, too.
Yeah.
The moves that they've made, getting Ryan Cohen and seeing what he did with Chewy.
Oh, yeah.
The company itself being valued at, $20 a share, as some analysts are writing, is ludicrous to me. And a company that brings in $1 to $2 billion in revenue, I believe that's a quarter. I mean, this company has the foundation already in place. It's got great flexibility with being able to close out underperforming stores on, the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
It's already got the name, and now they're bringing in all the people. I mean, they just brought in some execs from Amazon in order to help bolster their online presence. If they can turn this into an online platform, I think they could rival Steam.
Yes. I agree. And you look at what that dude did with Chewy. It's amazing. They're one of the premier online pet food retailers, and we've talked about them before because they keep hitting new 52-week highs.
And as far as AMC goes, I mean, they just staved off bankruptcy because of this whole thing. They were able to convert $600 million of debt into shares that were immediately sold. Now theaters are starting to open back up. I mean, this was a $30 a share stock before this pandemic hit, and now they've just basically given themselves the room they need to try to ride this out longer. Bankruptcy was on the table not too long ago.
It looks like they'll survive. When we were talking about AMC in December, You recall I was buying some calls to try and ride a bounce, and I missed on the timing, and you did not, just to just to fuck with me. It was great. Loved it.
I remember that. I do want to kind of talk a little bit more about my GameStop going forward, just to put that out there. As I believe in the company, I'm waiting for the stock price to bottom out again, and then I'm just going to sink a lot more money into it. I'm going to sell off my Pepsi shares and probably move that into it, because I see this in the next 3 years just being a lot bigger than it is right now.
Yeah.
So if you lost money on it, don't feel too bad. This wasn't always just about the squeeze play. This was just about a solid company with good fundamentals taking the right steps to become a player again. And they've taken all those steps. They've made the right moves. Now it's time to, buy into that. Lower your cost basis if you bought way too high, like some of us did.
Yep.
And just be prepared to wait for, a good 2 years.
Hold those shares. Hold them strong.
Yes.
Getting into the nitty-gritty of what went down with Robinhood last week, I watched a CNBC report that really towed the party line, as it were. They were reporting that Citadel Securities, as we know, part of this fiasco, they run the shares for Robinhood, and they are also one of the companies that shored up Melvin Capital with billions of dollars.
Before you continue with that, I feel like we need to get that correction out there real quick.
Oh, yes.
Last week, we mistakenly referred to as Citron as the one who holds or takes the order flow from Robinhood. That was a mistake. We did put a correction in the episode description, but it's actually Citadel Securities who handles the order flow.
Yes.
And there's two branches of Citadel, as Dan was just referring to. So there's one that handles the order flow, and there's one that does other stuff.
Yes.
But sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there, but go ahead and continue. I just want to get that correction out.
Yeah, so Citadel Securities reported to CNBC that it was hedge funds that were the big buyers in GameStop. Mm-hmm. That doesn't explain everything to me. CNBC continued to report that BlackRock and Senvest, two big hedge funds, they hit big. But that's misleading. BlackRock owns 13% of GME, but they're long.
Right.
Senvest made like 700 million gains at the peak. They also went on to say, I love this, undisclosed institutional and computer monies said to be long but they may never be disclosed who.
What?
Yeah, they said.
What does that mean?
They were saying in answer to people who was buying GameStop stock, undisclosed institutional and she even said computers. The lady Leslie Picker was the CNBC reporter. She even mentioned computer algorithms were investors. Yeah, that was a thing that she said.
But yet somehow Robinhood had to shut down because the retail side was too high, and it was causing them liquidity issues.
Towing the party line didn't get into that. They said the people buying were hedge funds covering their shorts and other hedge funds. But we know that doesn't make sense because the other hedge funds weren't buying at the high.
I wouldn't think so.
BlackRock was not like $350 a share. Yeah, give me 5,000 more. No, that wasn't happening. We watched the Thursday shutdown from Robinhood result in significant volume and price dips. We watched it happen. So it looks like Melvin Capital, Maple Lane Capital, they lost the most money, and this little new segment wrapped it up by blaming it all on risk management, saying you should never be overexposed. Leslie Picker, the talking head, claims there's only a small chance to ever have a squeeze. She says, and this is a quote, "I'm not a statistician, but I did TA in a statistics class in college."
Oh my God. Are you That's the quality of reporting?
Yeah. There's only a small chance from a risk management standpoint. Translation, these poor hedge funds aren't dumb. The odds it was a magical thing that's never going to happen. You should never take that into account. And yeah, that made my blood boil, especially because very shortly after that, I read a Bloomberg report. Apparently, industry folks are claiming that the DTCC, the clearinghouse, the cash deposit increases they're a common part of brokerage business. And for some reason, Robinhood fell, and this is a quote, fell very, very short in terms of their cash requirement. So apparently anticipating how much the clearinghouse will want to cover and trade is part of everyday brokerage operations. And I mean, like literally at the heart of what a lot of them are doing, because obviously they can't keep trading without covering what the DTCC tells them to cover. Mm-hmm. Bloomberg reported risk managers were still stuck on how Robinhood ended up in the predicament. Now, Robinhood's COO, Jim Swartout, stated, "We've grown rapidly, and we have at times encountered challenges as we've scaled to meet this moment. sort out explained regarding Robinhood's growth and the spike in trading volume that led to the collateral demands. To say the overnight increases in volume Robinhood experienced last week were extraordinarily high would be a vast understatement. The surge was magnitudes higher than the norm. So we're hearing Robinhood's COO saying, literally, we've never had higher demand. And we know Robinhood is retail investors. Hedge funds are not using Robinhood to trade their stock.
No, that's what it sounds like they're saying. If hedge funds are doing the majority of the buying, they had to have been buying through Robinhood, right?
Apparently. Apparently, that's what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this got me really mad because both these narratives can't be true at the same time. Bloomberg also reported they spoke to more than half a dozen senior risk executives from Wall Street's largest firms, all anonymously. So I guess some of them work with Robinhood. They were all puzzled as to Robinhood suggesting that the size of the deposit requirements can't be foreseen. They said big well-run firms don't get surprised by requests that threaten to empty their pockets. So if you believe Bloomberg's anonymous independent Wall Street people, they're saying Robinhood, if Robinhood really was surprised by this, then they are not a well-run company.
Well, that's what Chamtha has been saying in the interviews that I've heard him, or when he talks about the whole fiasco. To be fair, he does have his own brokerage firm that he's trying to start up.
Right, so it makes sense for him.
So he may just be taking the time to shit on them, but I mean, to be honest, I mean, they deserve to be shit on at this point.
Agreed. Agreed. Let's move on. What story you got next on the docket, Kyle? I think something's happening at Amazon.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos has decided to step down as the CEO.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's kind of
a big deal.
Bit of a shocker. Sounds like he's still going to be part of the company. He's taken a position that I guess they kind of created for him. It's something to do with innovation. Bezos is moving into a new role with the title that was made for him that keeps him with the company in a position where he'll focus on innovation at Amazon and hands off the top job to a trusted deputy. So the guy taking over for him, Andy Jassy, is the guy taking over. He's been with the company since 97, so we don't really see this as being one of those scenarios where everyone jumps out of the stock because the CEO stepped down.
Right.
And it does sound like Bezos is still going to be part of it, but I think he also wants to spend more time focusing on the space side. I think he's got some other, what was that company's name? Blue Origin. He's trying to launch a company, another space company, kind of the same way that like Richard Branson with Virgin Galactic and Elon Musk with SpaceX.
Yeah.
So I think he wants to focus more on that, and this will give him the opportunity, I suppose, to do that. But still, big news nonetheless.
Huge.
The stock didn't really seem to react too much to it one way or another. And the guy who's taken over for him, this probably plays into that. I mean, he's been with the company since 97, so it's not like there's a scramble trying to find a successor. It sounds like they've got a guy who's been groomed for decades to take this spot over.
Yeah. The most exciting part about the news for me is that he's going to spend his time, Bezos is going to spend his time working on space stuff. I can't wait to pour more and more dollars into the space industry. Look at how well Virgin Galactic SPCE has been doing this year. Space is a growth industry, man. There's nothing but room to grow out there.
Speaking of Virgin Galactic, that's the next bit of news that I had, and that was that they've announced the flight window for their repeat of the test that failed in December.
Yeah.
That starts this weekend, the 13th is when that opens. So at some point from there through the end of the month, they should do the rerun of that test. And that should pave the way for the next test, which I believe will have, I think it'll have actual people with them in the next one.
We saw that stock take a dive after the last aborted test flight.
And I bought a lot of that stock when it discounted because I just felt like when that test flight gets reannounced, it's going to jump. Well, it turns out it jumped before that. I'm just hoping now that with this news coming out, I'm going to ride up to the point when they actually do complete that flight, and I'm going to be owning some probably options on banking on a successful one.
Yeah.
I have to figure that they've learned their lesson from the last flight. We've already seen that, they can withstand unexpected events that happen to be able to recover safely from those. So I'm excited for this test flight. I'm going to be investing on it. Kind of sad I sold some of those shares that I did last week when it looked like it was just getting part of the squeeze with all the other shorted stocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be putting more money back into it again.
Oh, that's such a good one. Like I said, space has got me excited.
All right. We've got time for one more news story, Dan. What else do you have?
Let's wrap up talking about, it wouldn't be an episode of Two Bulls in the China Shop if we didn't talk about stimulus. Gotta talk about that stimmy.
Oh, that's right.
Gotta get that stimmy money. It looks like the package has passed the House, the $1.9 trillion package with $1,400 direct stimulus payments. And though the Republicans want a much smaller plan, it appears that the Democrats can go ahead with what they got just through the budget reconciliation process, which doesn't require 60 votes, only requires 50. So
Okay.
they'll have to lose things like the $15 minimum wage, even though Bernie Sanders says they don't. They do.
Right. Yeah.
But other than that, it looks like, the big parts of it that were promised back in the election and when they promised in the Georgia election, all of that is going to get delivered, but it has to go through budget reconciliation because it does not have bipartisan support in the Senate, but it strangely has bipartisan support through citizens. Polling shows almost 70% of Americans are definitely in on the idea.
70% of Americans want to get free money? Really? Is the other 30% out of the threshold of getting that stimulus money?
That's can only be my assumption.
That's another Twitter poll. Do you want free money? Yes or no?
Do you want free money? Yeah, right. So, yeah, and I think part of why we saw things like the NASDAQ have a record run this week is news of that stimulus is exciting to companies because they all know people are going to spend it. Yay. Although apparently people have been retail investing with it, so who knows?
Yeah.
People like our listeners.
What was that quote I saw on Reddit? Give a rich man $600, he'll invest it and double it in a year's time. Give a poor man $600. Like, wait, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, right.
Stop that.
Wait, yeah, you can't do that. That'll wrap up our extra long news segment today.
Actually, not too bad.
Folks, I'd like to tell you proudly, Two Bulls in a China Shop is brought to you by Sue Pullen at Fairway Independent Mortgage, an equal housing lender. Sue Pullen is a certified mortgage advisor who focuses on finding the right product for you and your needs. She's got over 20 years of experience, has helped thousands of homeowners, and whether it's purchasing, refinancing, or even a reverse mortgage, Sue will help. She's licensed in 25 states and growing, so reach out and see what Sue could do for you. Best way to reach her is just give her a call, 520-977-7904, or maybe shoot her an email at spullen@fairwaymc.com. Either way, she's there for you to help you out. Fairway Independent Mortgage, MLS 2289, Sue Pullen, MLS 206048. And that phone, once again, 520-977-7904, and that email is spullen, Pullen, @fairwaymc.com. for all your mortgage needs.
Don't forget her TikTok account for John.
Oh, yes, John. Sue's got a TikTok account just for you. At this is for John. No, I don't know. I don't think she has a TikTok.
We're never going to get another response, by the way, if we keep ragging on him, so maybe we should move on.
Oh, we love you, John. We love you. Okay, and then I also would like to take a moment. I got to tell you folks about passive.com. They are a service that links with your brokerage to help you keep your long-term portfolio in balance day to day, week to week, month to month, however you decide to set it up. It will automatically queue up some trades for you to review, and you can click yes, and it'll automatically execute them to keep all of your long positions in balance. It's a fun product. It's a useful product for accumulating. If you're in the accumulation stage of your investment, which I've never considered myself to ever get out of that stage. I always want more.
No. The other fun thing you can do with it too is, if you want to test your hand and see how you compare against the other ETFs, try and make your own.
Yeah, that's what we're having the most fun doing, making our own ETF on there.
Yeah.
That is really fun because that's part of what I think of the game, like long-term investing.
Right.
Is one thing, and then the game is another, and that this kind of combines the two. Where it's like I want to make a long-term ETF, but I'm still playing the game. So that's really exciting. So check them out at passive.com, PASSIV, and that's gonna lead us up to stocks.
All right, finally.
Just put those stock tickers on the list. Go through the charts so nothing gets missed. Today's trades, they could all turn to gold. I'm playing stocks till I'm out of the hole.
don't know why I said finally. I don't have anything to talk about in stocks. I have no money.
Oh,
Yeah, I ran out of all my free cash, so now I've got to the point where I have to sell something if I want to buy something, and it sucks because I really want to buy AMD right now. What did you do in stock? Did you trade any stocks?
I managed to move back into my long positions in Ameritrade, the ones that I had in Robinhood. I trimmed them down.
What were those?
I trimmed them down. I was in like 7 different long positions, and I trimmed them down to 3 because basically the amount of money that I put in each week to accumulate without partial shares, it's a lot harder. Ameritrade doesn't let me do the partial shares. So now that I have to do all in whole shares, it's like, okay, I got to consolidate this because it can't just put $20 into a $200 stock anymore to spread it out.
Sounds like you need passive, is what it sounds like.
And I'm trying to set that up specifically for that. Yes, this is true. So what I moved in on, what I'm long is the TQQQ, which has actually become my favorite over these last 3 months. The Nasdaq just does so well, and it's triple leverage. So that's why it went up 12.5% this week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's well. And what's really awesome about it, Kyle, is it splits all the time. When it hits $200 a share, it splits and goes back down to 100 and then just goes back up to 200.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, it split a few times last year. I've already experienced one split.
Did you get hit with a bunch of fees that you didn't expect?
No. Robinhood's a lot better about the fees. I didn't have that in Ameritrade. We'll see what happens when it splits under Ameritrade.
Normally, splits don't give you fees, so I don't think you should see that, but let's pay attention to that just in case, as it'd be something good to report for people who are looking for other brokers right now.
Yeah, maybe it was because it was a reverse split that I got the fee. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm so angry at Robinhood. I'll pay some fees on Ameritrade. That's fine.
I'll be happy if I don't get the morning calls of the righteous fury and anger.
Kyle, no one else in my life will listen to me bitch about this right now. Please hear my pain. The other 2 that I moved into them long, of course, MJ. I love pot stocks. I guess I don't have to wait till options. I can bring up what happened in marijuana here in stocks.
No, bring it up now, yeah, because marijuana's been screaming again after the whole GameStop thing kind of died down, which is something we predicted too, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we say that when GameStop ends that people are going to be throwing all their money into something that they made off of this whole thing?
And exactly. And we actually did mention pot stocks. So because I moved out of my long positions in Robinhood, I missed out on this huge rally for pot stocks. I moved out of my options and my shares. So I moved back into my shares, but they were at like $18.50, $19 when I sold in Robinhood. By the time I got back into the shares on Ameritrade, it literally... I should have paid the stupid $75 to transfer them.
Yeah,
because I would have made money. I would have paid for that fee and then some. Because when I bought back in, it was over $23 a share.
Oh, God damn it!
Yeah, God damn it! And those I'll talk about that in options. Yeah. So yeah. I missed out on some tasty gains on marijuana, but like I said, this year moving forward. 9 out of 10 news stories about the pot market are going to be positive, and they're going to drive these stocks up. So I still have faith in it, but it really hurts to miss out on a 20-some% gain on your share price.
It was painful watching the company that I own, Cresco Labs, fall when the whole GameStop thing was going on. But like we said before, how I was kind of forced to hold through at least April. Yeah. So I didn't have to pay the short-term gains on them. It definitely recovered nicely. Oh yeah. I think my wife is up to maybe a Mazda 3 right now.
Hey. I like those Mazda.
Trying to get her to a Buick or a Mercedes. So
I wanted to point out part of what fueled the marijuana frenzy. Jazz Pharmaceuticals announced that they're acquiring GWPH, one of the pot pharmaceutical companies. Their stock was at around $150 a share, and this is one of the stocks that like all the ETFs own. Jazz announced that they're paying $200 a share plus $20 worth of Jazz stock for each share in GWPH. So obviously that stock shot up from $150 to over $200 a share. And that's
wow.
That's what lifted, and along with it, a lot of other companies got lifted up by the winds. But all the ETFs that jumped up, it was because of that single event. Like I said, all the news coming forward in pot is going to be good news. 9 out of 10. Mark it on the calendar.
Unless the Democrats somehow lose control of everything, I can't imagine that this isn't going to be the best 2 years that pot's going to see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The last stock that I moved into long was ARC-Q, one of the Cathie Wood ETFs. It's the autonomous vehicles and robotics ETF. I was in Hale, which I still believe in, but I didn't want to be in 2 ETFs that were heavy on Tesla.
The nice thing about Cathie Wood's funds right now, because she actually like tweets out their positions or announces anytime they make moves, like she announces them like immediately rather than waiting for the filing dates. So I think she gets a boost every time she says that she moves into a stock, because so many people are following and trying to copy her.
Yes.
That anytime that she announces it, like the stock price immediately goes up. So I don't see how you can go wrong investing in anything that she does right now.
If you pull up any one of her ETFs, it's done nothing but go up in the long term.
Yeah.
But
now that she has that reputation, now like all she has to do is say we bought this, and then all the she's already bought it. So now her position shoots up when all the people trying to copy her.
Yep.
Go and do the same thing.
It's a fun scenario. I definitely recommend any of the ARC ETFs in your long portfolio. Pick the one that is right.
I can't wait for that space one to come out. I cannot wait for that.
Me too. And that's why I kept it at 3, because I wanted 4. It's a nice even number, but I'm leaving a spot open for when that space ETF. Seriously, like the day it's tradable, I'm moving in. The very day I'm allowed to buy shares in it. And she doesn't even have it put together. She's just like, yeah, I think I'm going to do this. I'm like, yes, do it now.
Yes, take my money.
Shut up and take my money. So those were my only moves. So I didn't do any short-term moves, just moved back into some long positions.
That's a long-term move. We'll check in on that 3 months from now, and you'll probably be pretty happy.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, for me, my week was pretty lame. I had to take a step away after the gut-wrenching losses I took. I mean, seeing that squeeze being like right there and about to happen and having it taken away by the shitty actions of Robinhood, really kind of fucked with my head. And I had to step away in order to make sure I wasn't, chasing losses. I was happy to see, however, I wanted to mention the Activision earnings, one of the ones that we called out on our pick'em list, and one of the ones that I focused on last week when we talked about the upcoming earnings. The stock jumped to, I think it hit 104 at one point, still trading around 101. So that was, a nice little confidence boost for me. I didn't put any of my, this experiment's money into it, but I have a long position in there that I've had for the last 10 years that did quite nice. So I was able to get a piece of that.
Nice.
I got no more free cash now. Put everything that was laying around is now in AMC and GameStop, which kind of hurts. But like I said, I already explained what I'm planning on doing with that, so I won't really touch on that again. But I really want to get another piece of AMD and trying to figure out a way to freeze something up to where I can do that. I don't want to sell Jumia. I don't want to sell Space. Sonos, they got earnings coming up. We'll cover that here in the next little segment. But Nordstrom's done quite well for me. Bed Bath & Beyond, I'm still happy to hold. I don't want to sell any of these.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've been noticing is we look through because I keep a list of everything that's been on the pick'em list. And when it drops off, I throw it on the past picks watch list that I have. And I've been seeing that some of these ones that we picked, 6 months ago are now like 3 times the value of what they were then. Yeah. So looking back at that, I mean, that just really goes to show, like these shares that I've earned by some of the options trades that I've done, I don't want to lose them just because, long-term investing is really where it's at. Like we do this for fun. We've covered that multiple times where you really want to make some money, find a company you believe in, just hold it forever. Or at least until you're ready to retire.
I think I was telling you this morning, my new analogy, metaphor is you got to be like a dragon hoarding gold and with your shares of a company that you believe in. The dragon doesn't care what the price of gold is going for. Dragon does not give 2 shits about what that gold can get him in terms of the price of silver and how many goods in the town. No. Dragon just wants more gold. Just more. It doesn't matter what price it is at today. You believe in the company long term. You think it's growing and going to be big. Just keep getting more shares. Every chance you can get, just keep getting more. And then all of a sudden, you're going to retire sitting on a giant hoard of gold.
Yep.
That's how it works.
nerdy way. You call me a nerd for making chess references, but
So the D&D dragon method.
yeah, no, you make a good point. I mean, that's the way to do it. Accumulate.
Right.
We do this for fun. Like we've said in the past, we really enjoy it, so we'll keep doing it. And maybe eventually it'll get better. We'll get better at it.
We'll get good enough to actually make some decent money doing short-term trades, but long-term trades are where the money is actually accumulated.
I mean, I've seen success. I think you have too. I mean, I keep track of everything I've done since we started doing this podcast, and I think year to date I'm up 20%. You know, some of that being like the historic market that we've been in, but the real test is going to be, can we keep this up when the markets are trading sideways or going down?
Yes.
But I don't know. I think we can. I feel pretty good about some of the strategies that we've started to come up with.
Yeah.
That we've, through the process of elimination.
Right. Do we have any earnings to go over?
Yes, we do. We're right in the thick of the earnings season and got some ones that popped up that really caught my eye. The first one on the 8th is Take-Two, TTWO. This one's trading at highs right now.
Yeah.
I think that maybe it's seeing a boost just from the way Activision reported.
Yeah.
Activision had like a perfect storm of events happen. It had two, I don't even know how you describe it, 100 million plus sales games released in last quarter.
Yeah.
I don't think Take-Two is going to be nearly on those same lines. So I'm kind of expecting that one to fall, which is something that we've actually seen in the past. Like stocks that are trading at their all-time highs when they release earnings, there's typically profit taking that comes out after that, or just the expectations are just out of whack. And I have a feeling that this stock might be one of those. I'm actually looking at that as one I might buy some puts on, depending on how much the volatility is on it. They report on the 8th after hours, so I'll have a chance to look at it Monday morning before I make a decision on that. On the 9th, we've got Twitter and one of our picks, IIVI. Coming up. On the 10th, we have GM and Sonos. Sonos, one of my personal favorites. And then the 11th, we've got Nvidia and Pepsi.
Oh, I think Pepsi's going to do some good earnings.
You have to think. People like snack foods and fucking soda when they're sitting at home. All that legal pot they're smoking.
Oh, and that leads us over to options.
You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to sold 'em. Know when to walk away. Those calls are done. You never count your money. When you're holding on to contracts, there'll be time enough for counting when the options exercise.
Yeehaw. Speaking of options, yes. So marijuana options. My operation Dan's gonna get rich off of marijuana. Took a bit of a speed bump. I had $19 calls that expired in February 19th.
That was on MJ?
Yeah, on MJ. And I sold them, as I said last week, to move over to Ameritrade. I should have transferred them because this stock
goddamn, yeah, you should have.
jumped $5 a share. And I left so much money on the table because, and I keep saying it on the show, like this is, I'm trading options. I'm buying calls on MJ. Like they keep making me money. And I was literally sick to my stomach Monday and Tuesday watching MJ just shoot through the roof. Oh, Wednesday. I was really sad. But you helped talk me down and Jen talked me down by pretty much saying the same things.
What did I say? The big thing was take a breath, flush it from your head. You gotta don't be chasing it.
Keep moving forward.
Look for the next one.
Yeah, keep moving forward.
Yep.
So I left some money on the table with MJ. Ford, and they had been going down, but they ended up turning around on some news. They're doubling their investments in electric vehicles. I had those Ford calls.
They also had really good earnings too.
They had great earnings. They're doubling investments in electric vehicles. So yeah, those options would have made me money if I'd held them. But I will admit, at the time, I was thinking about selling.
One of the things holding Ford back, though, that I keep seeing pop up in the news. I mean, we mentioned it. Was that last week or the week before about the plant in Germany shutting down because they couldn't get any chips.
The chip shortage.
Apparently, that's becoming more of an issue for them. The F-150, they're having trouble making. That's like their biggest moneymaker.
Right. Their biggest product.
Yep.
And the chip shortage can't help when they're saying, we're going to go all electric vehicle with more computers. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you need another computer or you just need a better computer? I mean, everything's already pretty much run by them. Yeah, you probably just need a better programming. I don't know. Interesting.
I was already planning on I might move out of Ford, so I can't really count that one as a huge loss because I don't know if I would have moved out of it or not. I was sad I moved out of my Walmart calls. They did creep up all week. So the other ones I was looking at approaching earnings, Kellogg and AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca has had a lot of bad press with vaccine supply problems, and that's really kept their price from. It rose for a bit and then it kind of stopped. And then Kellogg just completely turned around, and I actually may buy some puts on them on Monday. We'll see. So moving forward, I've been looking at end of February and beginning of March for what companies are doing their earnings then, so I can move in on them this week. On the 25th, we've got Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser, BUD.
That's one of our pick'ems this last episode or release.
It was my pick'em. They're just their MACD signal is just about to cross, and this close to earnings, I consider that to be a good sign. So I'm looking to move into some $70 calls on them. I think they're around 65 right now, so I'll get those at a pretty good price. Also on the 25th, Main MAIN, Main Street Financial. I like Bud and Main a lot. They both have. Bud
is one of the ones that I keep looking at. You also mentioned Target too when we were talking offline.
Yes. Target is March 2nd.
I thought they just came out. Weren't we looking at them as a play to make with something that fell after having solid earnings, or am I thinking of something different? Or did we see them with the options alert not too long ago?
It was an options alert.
Okay.
Yeah, their earnings. The company themselves announced that they're going to do earnings March 2nd. So that's a confirmed. I've got my eye on them. I don't know. I'm torn whether or not I'm going to buy early in the week or not. They when I look at their MACD line, the momentum is just turned.
It looks like it finally switched. Yeah, because they were hurting for a little bit there.
Yeah, and I figured if the trend holds, then why not buy now? Why wait for the signal to flash? I've mixed feelings about it. Anyway, that's all I have really to talk about options.
Again, you did the bulk of the heavy lifting there, because the only thing I really have to talk about was the AMD $95 calls that I bought expiring in March, trying to do the same thing we just talked about right there. I was happy with the earnings that I saw come out for AMD, and I am betting that people will come around in the next month.
Yes, I definitely believe in AMD.
Especially after seeing that Intel was losing market share in the server sector side of things, the data centers. That's where their bread and butter is at. And if AMD can take a slice of that away, that'd be huge for AMD.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing I have to talk about is, as far as options go, is that I think this week I'm going to finally pull the trigger. I'm going to go and apply for level 2 options tradings. I've done it a couple times and kept getting denied because I don't have enough experience. But I think with what we've done with this show now, I can confidently put down that we have a much higher knowledge base than we did when I first applied for it. But I want to start trying to do some of or experimenting with like the selling of contracts. I think long term, this is the way that we really need to be able to go anyway, because some of these calls that we look at are, $68 a contract. Like I'm not going to throw $6,800 on just one contract.
Right.
But if I can sell one that's like, another $10 out of the money for $40 and then, knock that price down by a third, it caps my max gain I can make on it, but also allows me to be able to kind of trade out the Vega when stocks are super volatile. So I'm gonna look at that this week. I'm gonna try and apply for it. If I get approval, I'll start experimenting with some of these different strategies of selling some contracts, and definitely be reporting on that in the next episode or whenever I actually start making those trades. And that'll probably end up being another bonus episode too, coming up soon.
Sounds good to me.
All right. That's all I really had to discuss in options. Should we go on to some alerts?
Yeah, love me some alerts.
All right. I got 3 that I singled out that were over $1 million. I had Amazon, 219, $3,350 calls. There was $3.4 million on a $68.05 contract. Apple, 319, $160 calls, $1.5 million on, I think there were 90-cent contracts. I don't know if I wrote that down wrong or if the article was wrong, but I mean, there was a lot of them they traded. That one was kind of interesting. Both of those actually had bearish sentiment. So what that means is they were purchased closer to the bid price as opposed to the ask price. So that means that those are ones that you might have to watch. Maybe people are hedging on those. They have taking short positions and then buying the calls in order to protect themselves in case it goes the wrong way. 160 in March, but that's a lot of money to throw down on those too. I don't know what.
So
I don't know.
so
Somebody
out of the
might be
money.
thinking something there. They have another product line coming out soon or something?
They're talking about getting involved in the electric vehicle market right now. They're talking real heavy about it.
Oh, that's right. That news did come out. Yeah. They're partnering with, who was it?
The Hyundai Kia.
Honda Kia. That's what. Yeah. All right. Well, moving on. The next big money one was ARWR. Those were June 18th, $100 calls, 1.1 million on $11.50 contracts. I think all three of these were all bearish. Actually, no, the ARWR was bullish. That was why I threw that one in there. The last one that caught my eye wasn't nearly the same amount of money, but it caught my eye because there was only 5 open contracts before that trade was made. And it was the Bed Bath & Beyond March 12th, $26 calls. Somebody put $175,000 at $3.30 a contract.
Oh, wow.
And that's one that I think I may try to follow.
I did really very well with my Bed Bath & Beyond calls.
That's just a really interesting one because there was no volume on that before. I mean, you only had 5 contracts open before that trade was made. That's kind of nuts, actually.
Yeah. So does somebody know something we don't?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Still a lot of short interest in Bed Bath & Beyond.
And also, the new short interest report comes out on Tuesday, so we'll know the numbers from the 2nd. The numbers got collected on February 2nd. They'll get reported on the 9th? Yeah, it'd be interesting to see when that gets updated too.
Yeah, we'll have to we'll send out the links to that short interest report on all the social media.
Oh, yes.
So keep if you're interested in that, keep an eye out there.
That wraps up the options alerts that I had, or at least the ones that kind of caught my eye.
Yeah, some good ones.
All right. Can we move to the home stretch here? Home stretch.
I want you to go first because my good and my bad are the same thing.
I almost did that, but no, I went with Activision as my good. Even though I didn't, make any money on, this experiment, I did have a position in my long-term portfolio, so I took a bit of that. But it was a huge confidence boost for me to be able to pick a stock that did exactly what I thought it was going to do after, what I saw from this past, week after being robbed from Robinhood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a big confidence boost. Keep the hits coming.
Good?
My good was my bet pick, and my bad was my bet pick.
Which one?
Yeah. So it was good because I said the wrong thing, and I ended up picking the right direction inadvertently. But it was also my bad because that's a big mess up, and I need to do better. And it's very.
I feel like you remember separating the method from the results. I don't agree with that good at all.
Okay. I guess you could say that I didn't really have anything good happen in terms like.
Well, you can call the results good. How about that? We'll just say.
All right. Well, then
the results were good, but the method was bad.
The results, yeah, I liked the results. Yeah, nothing, but nothing I did in trading. I guess I could say my good is I did watch all of my options picks behaving the way I expected them to be behaving. Like I said,
you can stick with yours.
The only thing I was unsure of was whether or not I was going to move out of those forward calls. I was unsure if it was going to keep dropping or go back up. And then Robinhood made the decision for me when I moved out of everything. So,
and Robinhood was wrong.
Robinhood was wrong. Yeah. So I guess then my bad is my bet fuck up. What was your bad?
Definitely the GameStop and AMC, the short-term losses I took from that. And then, like you said before about the expected earnings, like watching it being so close and then having it just snatched away from your fingertips, like it really kind of fucked with my head to the point where I really had to step away from the market for, a good amount of time to try to let that loss wash over and, get back to it. That's why the Activision was such a big confidence boost for me, and why I didn't put any money on it. I recognized that I didn't want to be chasing those losses, and so that was
right.
The good I can take out of the bad. My reaction was bad, but the steps I took to kind of correct myself from that were good.
Right. Oh, I just had the phrase in my head and then it popped out. I forgot what I was going to say.
Ugly?
Oh, my ugly was missing out on those marijuana calls. So much money on the table. Yeah. I couldn't stop obsessing about it. I'm fine now. I moved on, because I started cracking open the charts and looking for my next moves. And I'm a lot more happy about life. But, for a while there, I was feeling sick over missing out.
It's hard to be able to move on. Like once you're done with something, you got to flush it and forget about it. It's on to the next one. That's
right. Well, but in this instance,
the emotional roller coaster of this game. Yeah.
In this instance, like I literally am taking a chunk of money and I'm just trying to keep it growing, like keep betting that pot's going up. So yeah. It's hard for me to move on in terms of like forget about it. I can't forget about it. I'm continuing the marijuana trading.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
But anyway, I've recovered emotionally at least, and I'm ready to make more money on pot stocks and options.
I'm ready to start trading again too. So
all right.
I've gotten over my losses. I've come up with a plan to move forward with them and turn those into long-term investments, which is kind of what my backup plan was to begin with. It's just I was really hoping not to have to use the backup plan, I guess you can say.
What was...
now that I'm forced to use it, yeah.
What was your ugly?
Losing to the goddamn random stock.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Goddamn random. I lost to it too.
And I've seen at least one really good suggestion from our listeners, and I'm afraid that's going to be the one that we're going to have to do. I'm not going to spoil it. If anybody else feels like they can beat it, it's a pretty good one.
Yeah. I don't think you've even shared it with me yet, so I'm in the dark too.
No,
listeners.
I shared it with you. I told you.
Oh, okay.
It's about joining the certain Facebook group.
Oh, shit.
I'm not telling anybody why.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to beat random. We need to beat it so bad. Oh,
yes,
God.
we really need to beat random.
Oh, God. Okay. Whew. Speaking of, I believe that brings us to...
Yes.
Stocks. They're the center of a universe. That's for every one of us. Consequence for one of us. Make our picks with no regret. Every open, every close, every spread. It's the main bet.
The center of the universe.
I feel like I'm making this... I'm spending way too much time picking first.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like right now.
It's strange for me too, but I'm getting used to it.
All right. Well, my bet shouldn't come as a surprise. This is one of the bets that I made a couple months ago that did quite well for me. I'm going back to the well with Virgin Galactic announcing the second attempt at their test flight. I'm holding Virgin Galactic. I want to get them this Monday so I can ride the anticipation of the test flight, and I want to hold them through next week and try to capture the results when they're inevitably successful, because they obviously will be this time, because I can't be last that many times in a row.
It's statistically improbable.
Improbable.
My bet this week is one I came across doing my earnings for options. I'm gonna pick Main Street Capital. Mm-hmm. They are MAIN. They are going on a pretty good run this year. Everything looks like they're gonna keep going up as we get closer to earnings, and I want to see how well it's going to do this week. I watched it Friday when I was watching the markets, and it just seemed it moved up only 1%, but it seemed to not be being affected by the whipsaw that I was seeing in a lot of other companies. Like up 0.5%, down 0.5%, up 0.5%, down 0.5%, like all day. But that one was just a little bit just steady upwards. So I really liked how it was moving, and that's my bet pick. Maine.
I need you to pick 3 steady eddies in a row, so that way I can try and make up some ground.
Okay. Yeah. No movement on this.
And
stuff.
I want to throw this. I want to throw this on record because you remember the convoluted plan I had when Logitech reported their earnings. I was contemplating the same thing with Take Two. I was thinking about selling short on Monday, just at close. Take Two, buying it back the next morning, and then moving it into space. I'm not going to do that, but that's what I contemplated it. I don't want to make it too complicated because I have to go back through and try to figure this all out on paper.
Right.
But if it works, I want to be able to say, look how smart I am. And if it doesn't work, then I can say, look, that's why I didn't do it.
Right. Oh, that's
at least
awesome.
win something. All right. Is it time for time to see what we're up against this week?
Yeah, what's our random?
All right, NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange. I got them both loaded up here. Getting a stock. Oh, Kirkland.
Oh.
KIRK.
That's
all right.
Is that the company that Costco uses to make all their
That's
stuff?
the one. Yeah. Doesn't Costco have their earnings coming out?
Yeah, they do. On the 3rd.
Fuck,
March 3rd.
Oh, no. Oh, March, okay. Kirkland trading at 27.63 right now. Oh my god, that stock has been on a tear. Back in July, it was trading at like 250.
Shit. Just back at January, beginning of January, it was trading under 17.
Yeah. Man. I might be buying some of this stock. Listeners, get your suggestions in because I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing something that you suggest this coming month.
No, I think we've got a good shot. I'm looking at the momentum of Kirkland. I think we're going to be all right. I think if it was a week ago, we'd be fucked.
No earnings this week. It looks like it'll be sometime in the beginning of March.
Yeah, I think we're about to see a little bit of a deflation period for Kirkland. I could be wrong though. We'll find out.
Oh God, I hope so.
Next week.
I need every little helping hand I can get right now.
Right. Every little bit helps.
All right. Are we done?
Yes.
I think we got it all right.
Yes, that's our episode, folks. Thanks for sticking around with us till the end. You know, we love you all over the world. We're getting listeners tuning in, and we're just beside ourselves with joy. We love that you're here. If you like our show, let us know by rating and subscribing on whatever platform you're using. If you like our show and you hate social media, then tell all your friends. Let them know. If you have no friends and you hate social media and you want to give us money to pay for advertising to help you find more friends, then you can donate to us on our PayPal link.
And that link will be in the episode description.
Yes, it will. So tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your pets. Come join us here in the China shop. It's a big shop. There's room for everybody.
It's more fun the more they're there.
Right? It's the most explicit stock trading podcast that I know of. Fucking hell.
Fuck the hedge funds.
Fuck the hedge funds. Fuck. All right. Happy trades, folks. We'll catch you next week. Take care.
Bye.
Two Bulls in a China Shop is an entertainment program, and all thoughts and opinions expressed in the show belong to the hosts and not of any company. They are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide entertainment about stocks and the financial industry of trading. If you make trades based on what you hear in this show, you assume all risks for those trades.